We are here today talking about sewer water, not drinking water. Sometimes people get confused when you talk about water quality. People immediately think about water quality of the drinking water that they are have in their homes. But we are talking about sewer water, certainly not drinking water. So this is the water that goes down your sinks, your tubs, your washing machine, your dishwasher, and travels to get hopefully cleaned. And I just saw one other person walk in. Lorraine, you want to scream out your name and affiliation? Okay, thank you. So we're going to go through hopefully a quick PowerPoint here to give you an idea about Westchester Coalition for Clean Water and to show you what the problem is, what we've done so far, and what we'd like everyone to get together to do. Here's our mission: to restore and protect clean water in Westchester's waterways for all community members now and into the future. It only took us about 6 weeks to come up with that. No, just kidding. But you see that we have a long list of members, and our steering committee is the group of folks that were originally on the water committee. We've got Groundwork Hudson Valley. I'm going to put my glasses on to see everyone's logo. We have the Curb, where we are today, Bronx River Alliance, FCWC, Riverkeeper, and am I not seeing that? Yeah, that's it, I think. And Long Island Sound Partnership, which is what I brought. And Groundwork. I think I said Groundwork first. And Bronx River Alliance. Hutchinson River Alliance. Restoration. Thank you. Okay. But we have a great group of members now, ranging from large organizations to small organizations and all across the county, which is terrific. And we think that there is strength in listing all those members. And so if your organization is not there and you'd like to be, please let us know. We'd love to have everyone join us. I don't know. We're going to move on to the vision. And the vision of the organization is to see that all waterways in Westchester are clean and healthy, trash and sewage free, and flood resilient within 10 years. And here's a nice little picture of Tracy and Ryan and others on the Hudson. Now we're going to go to the problem, though. And the problem is we have failures in our sewage infrastructure. And here in the pictures, you see some of those failures happening. Manhole cover overflows, beach closings, flooding, and decrepit pipes, which is not a good thing. So we ask you, why should you care? And you should care because there are impacts to the environment and wildlife. That happens to be me in a kayak. And, enjoying the water, not in these conditions, though. We've got a lot of problems that are caused by these sewage overflows. So you have disease causing pathogens that enter the water. You have pharmaceuticals entering the water, variety of toxic chemicals, habitat loss, reduced reproduction of wildlife, algae blooms, and fish die-offs. And these are nasty pictures showing some of those examples. There's also human health impacts, and that's exposure to these pathogens if you're in the water, exposure to these pharmaceuticals, exposure to these chemicals, beach closures, which is sort of the easiest thing for us to understand and know, and shellfish closures. This is the land of the big oyster. We were once known for oysters all over this country. And with all the development and problems entering our water, pollution entering our water, lots of those shellfish beds have been closed. There are some great stories of reopening them on Long Island. In Hempstead Harbor, they opened up 2,500 acres of shellfishing, which is incredible, because when I grew up there, I remember when they closed the beaches and it was a disaster. So there's been some real improvements, and we can have that in Westchester County too, and we should. There's no reason that our beaches, there's lots of reasons our beaches are closed and our shellfishing areas are closed. So take a look at this. We're showing here the beach closures for 24 and 25. And you see that there was a total of 53 closures in 24, 101 in 25. That is terrible. That means when it's hot as Hades out and you want to go to the beach in your community or a neighboring community, and it has rained recently, you are not going to be able to go into that water and it's closed. And there's lots of causes for them, as you see here. We have preemptive closing due to rainfall in lots of places because they can't test the water fast enough to be able to know whether it really is safe or not. So they err on the side of caution. We know that there's elevated bacteria in lots of areas after rainfalls. We see harmful algal blooms. This year, there was incredible algal bloom problems in the Hudson River, the first of its kind, the largest scale of its kind. It made national news, and that's not good for water quality. So we also know that there's discharges of sewage from sewage treatment plants and pump stations that cause problems. And then we have runoff, just plain old runoff that comes from stormwater runoff that isn't even going into the sewage treatment plants that causes beach closures as well. So how did we get here? How did this happen? It is a complicated story. The infrastructure of the Westchester County sewer system is really complicated. We have 13 different sewer districts. There are 7 county-owned Westchester water treatment plants. That's a sewage treatment plant. Most of the northern part of the county is treated with septic systems, not through sewage treatment. And think about this. The ownership of the sewer systems is split into 3 different groups. The county owns the sewage treatment plants and the very large trunk lines that take that sewer water and bring it to the sewage treatment plants. The municipalities own what we call the lateral lines that go from people's homes or businesses and transport the water through pipes from those homes and businesses through the streets of the community to the nearest trunk line that is owned by the county. And individuals and businesses own the line that goes from their house or their business to that municipally owned sewer line. So it's not exactly a unified system. And to make it even worse for the repairs of this system, you might have noticed it's underground, which is a lovely thing for our society, but it's not a good thing to remember to fix it. When things break, they go unnoticed or unknown for quite a while, or can, and they don't get fixed. So we had incredible funding from the federal government up until the 1980s. It was a real partnership with the federal, state, and local governments working together on sewer infrastructure. In the 1980s, that funding dried up. New York State started a funding source and system in 2015, and Steve Otis, our state assemblyman from the Sound Shore area, was really instrumental in starting that in the state. And now there is lots of funding in New York State for municipalities to fix their sewer lines, which is great. But we have an $80 billion backlog of needs in New York State for fixing infrastructure in Westchester. Sorry, not Westchester, the state. Yeah, thank goodness it's not Westchester. But here are some of the systems that are supposed to work. We have separate sewer systems in most of Westchester County, although not in Yonkers, in certain areas of Yonkers. So when it rains, the rainwater that hits your roof, your parking lot, your road, runs down into the nearest road after it leaves your property. And it flows down the road and it goes toward a storm drain, which are the drains you see in your roads. And that is a pipe system that is a conveyance to the nearest river or water body. And that ends up in Long Island Sound or the Hudson River. That's taking your rainwater and whatever it's collected from your roof, from your parking lot, from your road, and bringing all the nasty stuff that it found there right into those water bodies. That's how it's supposed to work. And that's usually how it works. Now, the sewer system is supposed to collect all the water that has been fouled with sewage from your home, from your business, and that is conveyed to the trunk lines and the sewage treatment plants. And that's how it's supposed to work. So you see it here. And in Yonkers, they have a different system in some areas, not all of Yonkers. But in dry weather, the sewer water runs on its own through the pipes into toward the sewage treatment plant. But in wet weather, those pipes are used for the stormwater as well. It's the same pipes. In this separate system, you have separate pipes for stormwater and pipes for sewer water. So what happens in wet weather with a combined sewer overflow is that's it. It's a combined sewer overflow. And that is not great for water quality. It's also the system in a lot of New York City. So we're going to move on to what happens and what we see, and we get discharge of sewer water into our water systems. So you see the difference in reporting in 2024 and 2025. In 2024, there was a huge amount of permitted discharge. And I believe that is because there was lots of work going on in some of the sewage treatment plants, particularly the Mamaroneck sewage treatment plant. And they literally had permits to discharge sewer water because of the work they were doing. But you see that there were some systems that were over capacity. You see the weather conditions or wet blend event. That means when there's heavy rain and a system can't take all the water that comes into the system, meaning a sewer system, and it's getting lots of the rainwater because there are problems in the sewer system and infrastructure to get there, then it makes the system overflow. So this is too much. Even 33 is too much. And you see that in 2024, there was 718 million gallons. In 2025, 24 million gallons. And that's a difference in weather as well. So let's go on. Yes. And yeah, I'm surprised. I think we missed a slide for that.
It was on one of them.
Okay, I'm sorry. So let's talk about that. Okay. So you're right. I'm sorry. So infiltration and inflow are the two problems that cause rainwater to get into the sewer system and make the systems overflow. Inflow is when you literally have sewer pipes that are supposed to be tapped into, stormwater pipes that are supposed to just run to the nearest water body are actually tapped into the sewer pipes. You know, some people do that in their sump pumps. You see that a lot in communities that flood. They take the sump pump and they plug it into a sewer pipe instead of into a stormwater pipe. That's a major amount of water that comes in to the sewer system. And then you've got the infiltration. If a pipe is broken, cracked, or not working, if it's literally has a hole in it, you've got lots of storm water that gets into those pipes and lets it travel to the sewage treatment plant. So the sewage treatment plants are getting overwhelmed and we're ending up treating storm water with the sewer water, and that causes lots of use of electricity and energy, and it causes a lot less of the water to be treated as well as it should be. It's overwhelmed. The systems are overwhelmed. We want to remove the inflow and infiltration. Okay, how can we fix this problem? We think we know. At Westchester Coalition for Clean Water, we want to see everyone start to fix the sewers now. And here's a picture of one getting work done. We want people to know what's happening in their neighborhoods. We have some pictures of cameras that were put into the sewer pipes in Larchmont. And this is what they look like. You can see deteriorating pipes. This is major infrastructure for the sewer system. And this is not what we want to see, but this is what we want to know so that we can fix it. Wow. Yeah, so this is unfortunately not uncommon and is what it looks like in most communities. In fact, Larchmont, Pelham Manor, City of New Rochelle, and Town of Mamaroneck have been working on this for quite a while, got some funding from the state to work on this program. Together, they came together, got $5.8 million from the state to try and improve our pipes. And so these have been addressed. But this is some of the ways to manage stormwater. And this is what we want your communities to do. Yes. Because some of the changes, some of it is, yes. But we also think that weather has played a big part of it as well. Oh, I'm sorry. It was asked whether some of the improvements could be shown in the results of the less discharges in 25 compared to 24. And certainly in those areas, yes. So the 4 communities, as well as all of them. So there are 11 communities are in the watershed for Long Island Sound. All of them have been making efforts to improve their sewer systems because they all were brought to everyone's attention by the lawsuit from Save the Sound and the county as well. So there's been a large effort to really push those communities to improve their sewer lines. And this is some of the ways that we can treat stormwater or deal with stormwater. So it's a combined effort of fixing the pipes, but also trying to deal with stormwater because stormwater also causes flooding. And we know that every community in Westchester County is plagued by flooding. And some of the ways that you can do it is with green infrastructure, creating rain gardens, using more trees in your streets, and creating really a living water's edge, which is a natural shoreline so that there's more area to absorb waters. This picture on the right is of a rain garden in the town of Mamaroneck. We did it when I was supervisor. We did take the parking lot in the town center, which is a large area. It drains several acres just on site, as well as a large area above it. And this parking lot was a mess. It needed to be fixed. And I said, let's fix it and let's make it more resilient and more sustainable. And so we were able to put in some rain gardens. You'll see the next slide is porous pavers on the right here. And those are green infrastructure elements. So those elements are able to absorb the water. There is a substrate that's created underneath the porous pavers, porous pavement, and rain gardens. It's not cheap to do it, but it is an amazing way to reduce the amount of water that is running off a property, to treat the water that is coming off that property, and to discharge it in a much slower and cleaner way. And you see the drawing on the left describes it as well. The added benefit from a municipal standpoint is it's aesthetically pleasing. This is a much prettier parking lot now than it was before because we have the rain gardens, which is basically a planted garden that looks very attractive. That looks a lot nicer than what plain grass that was just trampled on and had no permeability to it. And the porous pavers are also very attractive, although I wouldn't recommend walking in spiked high heels on them because they do have little cracks in between them. We also used porous pavement in this project, and that is amazing because when it rains, it looks as if it's not raining on the porous pavement, and the rest of the pavement around it that isn't porous you see the runoff just sheeting off of it. So we were able to capture hundreds of thousands of gallons of rainwater and stormwater off of this property with this project. But what we need to do in a systematic way through the whole county is to unite and unify the county sewage district. This would provide consistent and proactive inspections and an investment in the overall collection system. So right now, remember, you've got 3 different owners of the system. There is no systematic way of inspecting it, repairing it, maintaining it, taking care of it. If we can have it under one roof, it could be handled and run much better. Some of the benefits would be the improved operational efficiencies, cleaner water because we wouldn't have the sewer failures that we have now and the overflows that we have now. And we know that we would save money overall for taxpayers because it would cost less to have it run in a more efficient way. What we'd like to do is push the county to embark on this. As Tracy said, it's a complicated process. It is operationally different and difficult to change, but we know through decades of study of it and the most recent studies is that it would make a big difference for all of our communities. The good news is that we needed state legislation in order to allow Westchester County to even contemplate combining the sewer districts. And this past year, 2024, we had state enabling legislation that was presented in the state legislature by State Senator Shelley Mayer and Amy Paulin and Steve Otis. And it went to Kathy Hochul's desk and she signed it. We were very happy. Dan Shapley let us know when it was signed. We were very excited. So that's the first step. Now we need the county to create enabling legislation, and we need the county to start working on the administrative, operational, mechanical ways to move forward to create a unified system. The good news there again is that Ken Jenkins, the county executive, is very supportive of this effort. He understands it fully. He has stated his support to all of us, and we want to help him understand that it's just more than just me and Tracy who say this is a good idea and want to move forward. We need all of your voices to help him understand that this is what we should do. So our next steps. We need to build that community awareness and support. We'd love to be able to come to your community and talk about it if you think that would be helpful. The number one message is we should be doing better. It's 2026. We should be a fully functioning sewer community and county. Functioning sewers are the hallmark of a civilized society. We should not have closed beaches. We should be able to eat shellfish from our food, from our waterways. That's the message. We shouldn't be accepting this. It shouldn't be normal to say, it rained an inch. That means I shouldn't go kayaking. I shouldn't go swimming. My kid really shouldn't go sailing today. There's a lot of things that people I think are getting used to and thinking are acceptable, but we can change that. It shouldn't be that way. Hey, if you can swim in the Seine in Paris, we ought to be able to make our sewers work in Westchester County. So we're asking folks to talk to their elected officials. That means literally telling your mayor, supervisor, your county legislator, your state assembly person, your state senator, you know what? This isn't good enough. We want to have better sewer systems. We want the water to be clean in Westchester County. We want to be able to swim, and we want to be able to fish, and we want to be able to enjoy the environment that Lord knows we pay for. We're asking individuals, communities, to think about green and gray infrastructure. What can you do to reduce the stormwater runoff that's literally going into the waterways, regardless? And a lot of it gets into the sewer system. We want to stop both of those things. And we want you to sign up for sewage alerts. I know it might not be your favorite email of the day. However, when you see a little notice from New York State, it's a good thing to know. Oh my goodness, the Mamaroneck sewage treatment plant overflowed, 20 million gallons for the past 2 days because of terrible weather. That means I shouldn't go swimming. I shouldn't go kayaking. This is not good. What's wrong with the system? We built these for millions and millions and millions of dollars. Why isn't it working? So we'd also like you to sign up for Westchester Coalition for Clean Water information. Join, look at our communications, join as a member, and follow us on social media.